videos, my hard drive actually died. So I'm unable to edit any videos right now. But, I'm using this live streaming for now just so I can talk to you guys and give you some information, right? And so the other day I was actually in my car and I was thinking about, like I'm going through this. I was listening to Gary Vee and he was talking about, hey man, like if you're not an entrepreneur but you want to be an entrepreneur, right now is a really good time to talk about or talk to your or position yourself as a person who's going through that struggle of being an entrepreneur. Like for me, I make it very apparent that, or I make it very visible that I'm not an entrepreneur yet. I mean, it could be overnight and sell you guys some vacuum cleaner, but fuck that, right? um, I think it's I think this journey that I'm going through right now is very interesting, because it's not like a lot of other people where like they just don't like their like I don't want to say low tier. That sounds bad. They don't like their job and stuff like that. Like, but as someone who has gone through that pharmacy journey, who's gotten a professional degree and stuff, and all of a sudden doesn't want that, I think that's a very strong story. And a lot of people don't really express it, and maybe some people don't like me just for that reason, right? They don't like me because they're like, look at this kid, what a fucking waste, man. But I think there's a certain there's there's a certain struggle that comes with doing something that I don't want to say you don't like. That's not the thing, because there are aspects of my job that I really like, but I think I'm on this journey of trying to do trying to do more for the world, right? And that's through business, refugee hustle, different adventures and stuff I'm pursuing, right? And so that's how I came up with this hustle daily. I was going to call it daily hustle, but I don't know. I like hustle daily. Um, but and so through this sort of series, I just want to share with you like some of the things I'm going through, some of the things I think you guys might be going through, and sharing this journey until I become an entrepreneur. And I think it's more than just creating a quick buck, but I actually want to create a long-lasting legacy for myself, for other people, create opportunities for other people. And so one of the first topics I want to actually talk about is the hardest thing about doing a nine to five, or in my case, a 9 to 9 sometimes. Like I do 12-hour shifts, but basically being at a full time job and talking about some of the difficulties behind it and sort of giving you solutions to help break that, right? And so right now, I think one of the things that I go through that's really hard is because you know how people say that they're trapped at their 9 to 5 or something like that. I was actually thinking about that the other day, and I was thinking about like, dude, why do so many people feel trapped? Like, what's the commonality? We might be doing different things. You might be accountant, doctor, or maybe working a fast food joint, right? But I think there's this one common thing that we all feel, and it's like feeling trapped, right? And that's really different from people that are really happy with their job and who are really unhappy, right? And so, where was I going with this? Fuck. But yeah, so I think one of the hardest things about being a retail pharmacist is sort of being like you don't really have control over your environment. Like if you're stuck with people that you don't like, I'm not saying it's impossible to get out, but it's very, very hard. Like I've been in situations where I didn't like the negative attitude of my staff. I didn't like the negative attitude of my patients, but I've been trapped. And it's really hard to deal with because when you're constantly trying to manage your own state, trying to always be sort of positive, when people are being like fucking assholes, like scum of the earth, like especially in retail, you see it. Like you see all sorts of people, and sometimes you're asking yourself like, dude, I work so hard just to be treated like shit. What the fuck, you know? And I think there's some good that comes from it though, because I think a lot of the time like it's an opportunity to sort of build resiliency and stuff. And someone who's like who tries to be very caring and tries to give to others and stuff, like it gets very draining, you know. And I can already sort of seeing like myself becoming colder to people, just because you know, like when you leave yourself sort of vulnerable and you're dealing with these crazy ass patients and stuff like that, they go off at you even though you're trying to do your best and trying to work in their best interest. Like you get hurt, you know. And for me, it's just being unable to, like, it's really tough being unable to control that environment, you know. Like I want to be around more positive people and stuff. And when I look at like Joe and stuff, like when he goes to work or his own business and stuff, like he controls the people that he wants to be around with. He loves it, you know. um, it's something that, because you get to be surrounded by really positive motivating people. But when I go work, it's like I feel like I'm going to war every single time. Like there's a part of me that dreads it, that doesn't want to do it. There's good days, there's bad days, but I think the one commonality is like the days that suck are are when I have to deal with people that I don't really like, you know, or I don't like, but some of them are so like I hate to say this, but some of them are so retarded, dude. They're like dumb, like literally they're stupid, and I don't try to argue with them. Like at the end of the day, I disengage. Like if you're being a dumbass, like I just disengage with you. I stop the conversation. I tell them, hey, dude, when you're ready to have a grown ass conversation, then we'll talk. But at this rate, like you're not working toward a solution. You're just running in circles and stuff. So I feel like that's a huge struggle for a lot of people who do retail and other jobs like that. So, um, and it really takes an emotional like toll on you, you know. And you'll hear it from a lot of retail pharmacists, anybody that does retail and stuff, because you're dealing with like literally the scum of the earth. But it's also at the same time it can be very uplifting too, because people can people can when you have that sort of trust with patients, when they do decide that you're working in their best interest, they trust you. They don't want to go to anyone else. They'll share stuff that is really it really touches the heart, man, because you really do make a difference in people's lives, especially when they're like going through like one of my cancer patients, their family is going through hell right now. But every single time I talk to them, I'm like, hey, how are you feeling today? Not are you doing better? That's the wrong thing to ask, right? But how are you feeling today? You know, because I know you've been going through a lot, and just try and make their day a little easier every single time I see them. That's what I really do it for, you know. And so, but let's say like unfortunately right now for my situation I can't leave yet because I have debt, and I'm just trying to still acquire all these assets before I do my final, like before I leave, if um blah, 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 before I leave, you know. And so that's what I suggest you do, you know. If you're stuck in a situation, try to look at the good in it, you know. It does nothing if you just look at all the negatives and stuff, right? So like take a look at it. It builds your mental toughness. Being in a situation you don't like, but still persisting through and kicking ass at your job too. You know, I think that's where we can rewrite the script. And instead of being like, this sucks, I'm going to do a shit job. No, fuck that, dude. You're really practicing resiliency and how you can overcome in really shitty situations and get out of it, right? Second thing, look at it, instead of looking at it as a shitty situation, try to take a look at it and just be like, hey, dude, I'm building assets. I'm building like, I'm saving up my money so I can pursue other things that I want, you know? And that's how you go from like, earlier I said it's hard because you can't control the people that you want to be around. When we're unhappy, we don't have control, but it's very empowering when you're like, when you take control, you're like, hey, dude, I'm actually working. I control my destiny. I'm going to like hustle toward this by saving money, doing XYZ, making all the moves on the side. And there's something very empowering that feels about it, and it takes away a lot of the anxiety of like a 9 to 5 and stuff. I'm not saying that every day is the best day for me, but I just do the best I can, and I'm just grateful for what I have. Like I always talk about, like in my previous videos, I always talk about, hey, I'm always very grateful that I'm employed. Like I don't, I don't have to suck dick for a living, right? Second thing is, I'm very like glad that there's people in this world that really trust me enough to always take my advice and never question it. It's kind of scary, but like they trust me that much because even though I might not have the answers, you bet like I'm going to do my best to help them out as much as I can. And I'm also very grateful that even if I did lose my job, I'm pretty sure I would find ways to bounce back and even stronger. And guys, if you guys are going through a 9 to 5 struggle too, man, I feel your pain, man, every single day, and that's why I'm going to do this hustle daily, man. Um, might not be every day, but I'm going to try, and I'm just going to keep it this raw format, no editing, nothing, you know. So if you guys are in the grind and stuff, comment below. Guys got questions? Feel free to email me, subscribers@refugeehustle.com, or you can just leave it below. But yeah, and in the future, I'm hoping I can get those videos back of those special guests I had, like Brian and stuff. Maybe I'll hit up Angela sometime to do another video. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. I'm gonna peace out later.